Good evening, everyone. This video is going to be a trading review and support session for June the 15th, 2022. So it was a kind of weird day. I mean, I certainly got off to a mistaken and bad start. Going to go through that. And it wasn't FOMC day. The market had the FOMC announcement right. I mean, they had priced in a 90 something percent probability that the Feds were going to raise rates 75 basis points, and that's exactly what they did. And they left themselves some options open to either do it for a 50 basis point or a 75 basis point move in July. So the market kind of liked it. So they took away that they were going to, the Fed was committed in going to tackle inflation. Inflation is too high. The employment scenario is still pretty strong, right? So read between the lines. They actually said they were actually willing to give up some employment strength to get inflation under control because inflation is just too high. So they took a whack at it, and so the market liked it, and of course it bounced around after the announcement, like it always does. But in general, the market liked it. It took a little while to gain some traction, but after about 11:35 or something like that, then it ended up and ended up for an up close today as well. Okay, so that's kind of the FOMC scenario. So let me kind of go through the trading. The market has been. Let's just kind of review again the daily and see what was going on there. So we have a frame of reference. There's the daily. So this is today. When we opened, we were at an inside day. So we were pretty far down. One, two, three big down bars, right? In a kind of a smaller down bar here, as they were waiting on the FOMC news. And then the day finished up. And when we opened, right, it was an inside day, and and it being an FOMC day, there was just no way it was going to remain an inside day. So with that said, right here we are, and we are above the 2 by 200, and the time-based averages are pretty flat, and we're relatively close to yesterday's high and the Globex high. So let the first 3 minutes go by, and there's really nothing really very tempting in the first 3 minutes anyway. So here's my first mistake, and I recognized it. Here's the first trade, and I recognized it just about as soon as I hit the button. And it was trying to run away from the 3 minute close. Here's the 3 minute close. AVR was positive, well above certainly above the EMA and all the time-based things, but it was just too close to yesterday's high, and so it pulled down. So maybe I could have, would have, should have reacted a little bit sooner, but anyway, I reversed here, right? And sometimes I think, especially early in the morning, I think that some of these things might hold, and they don't necessarily hold early in the morning. So I was up, I was a long one, now I'm short one, and here comes my finger problem. So I was, it failed to make a new high, right? And it did make well, it got really close to the new low, but it did kind of break through here. I'm waiting, right, to see if it's going to go back up, and to see if I should reverse, but I really at this point don't necessarily think it is. So on the second pretty good bar down, my intention was to add one short, right? So when I clicked the button, that's what I thought I was doing, and I was very surprised to see that I had reversed back long, which is exactly what I did not want to do. So what I should have done is just immediately reverse back into the other direction. But just to kind of review it, if I had gotten my short entry here, right, I would have been out with profit, and even in here on that position, and it just depends on if I wanted to go for more, right? Since I had lost money on that reverse, but I would have been I would have been um, definitely in much better shape. So I ended up going long, right? And then down here I probably reversed too late, but I reversed back to short, and I added one. So now I have two, right? I get out of one before the 25% upper line, right? But I didn't get out of the other one, and so I probably reacted too slow again. But anyway, my stop position got me out here at a with the stop. Luckily, it was just like one unit that stopped out. But anyway, I mean, so now I'm in a hole, right? So I had this loss, right, and then this loss, and then this loss, right? Small position profit here, right, and then from about there, then I had that loss. So couldn't sort it out much worse than that. And again, dang finger. I mean, I've been thinking about what I could do. I tried to play around with my chart trading and dome and that kind of stuff. I haven't really come up with a configuration I like any better than what I have, right? So because I just haven't found anything better. Might continue to look at that, and I just have to be more careful about where my mouse is when I'm clicking on things. So very unfortunate. All right, so then I'm trying to be on the comeback trail now, right? So the next trade is here. Probably chased it a little bit too much, but I added to it and got out. So I'm just kind of starting to try not to chase too much. Let's see. I got in here. Let's see. Got in here and out. All right. So another trade. Had to trade. I mean, I traded a lot today. Maybe more than I should have. I'm waiting to see what the next trade is. We're in coffee break time, and I think this is when I was kind of waiting for a short, and did, yeah. So here's the short, and I got out there, right? Coming into the 7 o'clock news. Here's the 7 o'clock news. Another 2 unit trade here. I got in here, and let's see. No, I don't think I added to this one. I think I probably just took 1 point, so I was out in here. So let's see. Then I'm scurrying along, and it breaks down here. Let's see. Oh, I traded in the middle of the fast zone. Probably was a chase. Bounced up, added to it here, and was out there. So that contributed to profits as I was trying to recover. There's another short trade here. That one was much faster. Kind of chased it a little bit. Probably, I mean, it had room to go, but in here, chased it there, got out over here. And then breaking down again in here, out, down in here. Short here and out, short here and short here, added to it here and out. Now we're 732. Short here, breaking down, had to add to it here, right, and out there. So I mean, everything is contributing, and I'm taking back some of the loss. Looking for my arrows. I know I'm not done trading yet. Oh, here's the next short and out. And did not trade anything counter trend in this area. Short here, breaking under the EMA and out. I don't think I ever added. Don't think I added to that one. Short here and out. 811. So it's kind of getting up to my next problem area. Okay, so after this trade, where was the last one at? After this trade, right? And before I started the next trade, my text says I had come all the way back to like -3 points, right? So that should be a minus, yeah. And I was down about 20, right? So came back to -3, and then I probably pressed. I mean, here's the 3-minute moving average. EMA is up in here, kind of breaking down underneath the daily bias. So I entered in here, right? So I didn't make any finger mistakes here, and then then it bounced up, and then this area is we talk about this quite a bit, but a big bar, right, that jumps over, in this case, jumps over both the flexes usually is pretty good, and I stuck to it probably too long, and I'll have to think about that. I'm thinking about there wasn't any volume here, but I am thinking about maybe putting an arrow here, not a huge arrow, not one like this, but maybe an arrow here that kind of shows me that, and so maybe could reverse sooner. Let's see. Oh, and then all right. So I'm short, right? I'm short here, and then I added too early. I think. Oh, I added here, right? It's getting a couple of down bars when it hit the EMA, but the EMA is already starting to go up, and it's actually going into the daily bias. So I added too early, kind of going into the even the fast flex as well. Right, so then so recognize that I reversed along, don't quite get out of anything, right? So I had one here, and I had that loss and this loss, right? Reversed along, didn't get out of anything, and then I reversed a short here, so now I've got that short, that loss there, right? And then let's see, what did I do here? So I had two. I think I had two, right? One, two, reverse, and then I added one to it, trying to get out, and it didn't go away. And I just got to stop out up here, carrying those three. So while I was down -3 because I got too aggressive and was holding out, trying to get back to at least break even, I ended back up right about where I started, about down about 20. So what a frustrating day. I started bad, right? Got back really close and then ended bad. No finger mistakes here. I would have been done trading for the day long before even got to this particular area if I just hadn't made the finger slip on the dome. So frustrating day. The kind of good news is that the stop position prevented me from doing crazy things, and kind of thinking about it today. Right now, I've got the initial stop set at 10 points. I might tighten it up, at least a couple of points, maybe 3 points, to try to if something does bad, some entry does go bad. Maybe I want to start, reclaiming profits at something less than a 10-point stop. So it could be, if you see that stop coming up, it's also kind of motivation to look and see what what you should be doing. So thinking about a couple of things there. Um, as I mentioned today on the stop position on one of the reverses, I don't think it picked up the position as I recall. And so I kind of went through the code today, um, and I after we got done trading with real money, I switched to sim, and the the it was just rock solid on sim, on simulate on paper trader. Now the um, paper trader is a little bit slower. So I think some of the things that paper trader is able to deal with because it's slower, and real money switches much faster. So I think I might have found the area in the code that I made a ever so slight adjustment, and so I'll be testing it from here. But but I'm not going to release anything that I think is not pretty solid, especially since it's kind of controlling some of your trading. So I'm going to be using it for a while, for next, at least for the rest of this week, and and I don't know if we'll get any more reverses or not. But anyway, I'm not going to release it until I see a reverse in both directions, so I can just verify that it's pretty solid. So your question is, what time was it at the first 20-point loss or the second 20-point loss? Cumulative. I mean, so the I was out here at about 8:30 or so on the second. Yeah, this one it was right around 8:30. It was right. The stop out happened right about there, and I didn't try to do anything else with it. Right around 8:30. All right. So I mean, the stop position, kind of kept me, didn't let me do anything crazy. And so I'm still liking it. I may tighten it up a little bit, and I'm working on something else that may help as well, just to maybe give yourself a little bit more brain power time if you do have to reverse, without hitting generate and those sorts of things on the position tracker window. Just started working on that today. Um, don't have it completely functional yet, certainly, but I think I've just started to capture started to capture some of the important information on position closes and profits and those sorts of things. So it's early, but I'll be working on that after I get done trading. So it would keep your eyes on your chart a little bit more if you do reverse it. Ultimately, I hope you get it to a point where if you do reverse, I'm going to have something on your printed on the chart saying how much money you need to get back to break even from your reverse, and then you can set your profit targets as I do now. But I have to do some mental calculations to be able to do that, right? With hitting generate and those sorts of things. So I'm working on that. All the letting the computer do as much work as possible that we have to do mentally is a good thing. All right. Any questions on that? It was an FOMC day, so the trading was a little bit weird. I'm not going to go through. I didn't highlight um, optimum trades. We're kind of going through private messages today, and basically it was a stupid FOMC day. I mean, FOMC days are kind of tough sometimes. Yeah, margin is back. Yeah, that's a good point. They right before the FOMC statement. They did send out an email that they, doubled the margins, which is a good thing. And then at the end of the day, they sent another email back that says margins are back to normal. So should be fine for tomorrow. Since I'm not reserving, um, I haven't really increased the leverage really on the account, but even if they did increase the margin, then it really wouldn't, at this point, it really wouldn't bother me. Before, if they doubled the margin and I thought I had to keep account in reserve just in case I needed to do crazy things, then it definitely affected my trading. But um, anytime they increase margins, you have to be worried about market conditions and those sorts of things. But yeah, it should be fine and back to normal for tomorrow. Anything else? Any other questions? Nope. Okay, great. All right. Have a good night. Hopefully we'll see you in the trading room tomorrow. If not, we'll see you. Talk to you soon. All right. Have a good night.